This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Good evening and happy Friday. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Today is October 16th, and this is News 25.
Well, a private helicopter crashed this morning at Spring Mountain Motorsports into the man-made lake on the facility on South Highway 160. Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, along with the Federal Aviation Association, is currently on scene conducting the investigation into this crash. No one was reportedly injured. The helicopter was flown and owned by Spring Mountain owner John Morris, who told News 25 he had the sun in his eyes while flying over the lake, and his helicopter is fully submerged into the water.
Early voting begins tomorrow across Nevada and runs through October 30th. You may have already received a ballot in the mail. All active registered voters in Nye County will receive one because of the passage of AB 4. But you do have the option of voting in person at the polls on touchscreen voting machines if you choose. Voting mail ballots can be returned in person to the clerk's office in Pahrump or Tonopah or any polling location in Nye County by the close of the polls on Election Day. If you're going to mail your ballot, remember it must be postmarked on or before Election Day to be counted. October 27th is the final day that the clerk's office will mail out replacement ballots. A few things to expect when you head to the polls. As you can imagine, you should expect long lines. Your mail ballot has to be canceled before you can be allowed to vote in person, so that check will take a little time. Expect fewer voting machines. This is to be sure that voters can maintain social distancing while voting, and keep in mind that the equipment will need to be sanitized between voters. If you need more information on where and how to vote in Nye County, you can visit nyecounty.net/236/elections.
Well, early voting begins tomorrow, and there is a group of women in Pahrump that are celebrating by holding a march. News 25 spoke to Carolyn Endersby about the indivisible and invisible prickly pears of Nye County and the march they have planned for this weekend.
Indivisible is a national organization that was formed in 2017 when the administration let a lot of the assistants go. They decided, many of those interns that were in Washington, that they should be part of a bigger movement to take on any issues that might come up. And as we have experienced, many issues have come up since 2017. And those issues have caused Indivisible to grow tremendously throughout the country. There's indivisible groups in every state. Every state has multiple indivisible groups, and they're all formed out of their own ability to find the issues within their community. And those issues can be all over the local to the national. And we held the march back in 2019, and we held the vigil. The Indivisible Prickly Pears of Nye County is sponsoring, along with Women to Women March and the Women's March, the first Women's March to honor RBG and to also recognize all the women that have come forward since the first Women's March. 2018 was the first Women's March. And at that time, the women that were part of that march have stepped forward, and many of them have ran for office. They have been able to be elected, and we have a cross-section now of women that are in legislative positions and are ready to take on whatever is coming forward. We're developing women warriors, and we want people to join us. On Saturday, October 17th, we will be holding the rally on the corner of Floyd and Basin, East Basin Street, in front of the county courthouse. will be taking a short march down to Petrie Park, where the early voting will be going on, and any of the marchers can go over and do their early vote if they would like to do it in person. And we are also having a ability for everybody to sign up and be part of any movement, along with the women that we have joined and invited to be part of us, which is the Bitches for Biden, because we really want to mobilize and keep people moving. The rally will start at 2 o'clock, and the march will be approximately an hour. It's only a 15-minute march, but all told, you'll be spending about an hour with us.
And that's Carolyn Logue. We said Endersby because we got used to her. She used to be a town board member.
Oh. Coming up after the break, Angela Miles will have your Business First Brief and more News 25. Stick around.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by Southwest Medical, part of Optum Care, now offering same-day adult health care appointments. Call 775-727-6400 today.
Welcome back. Investment management firm BlackRock sees a surge in ETFs, and Starbucks promises to create a more diverse coffee company. Angela Miles reports.
Tapping our news, investment management firm BlackRock reports a surge in Americans taking stakes in exchange-traded funds, better known as ETFs. BlackRock manages 379 ETFs, and business is said to be thriving. BlackRock's iShares totaled $2.3 trillion in assets in the third quarter alone in 2020. The firm is investing $118 million of that money in Arrival, an electric vehicle maker that is building electric delivery vans for UPS. Arrival's first so-called micro factory will land in South Carolina. Starbucks is pledging to create a more diverse coffee company. The chain says by 2025, 30% of its employees at the corporate level will be people of color. That number is double the minorities in leadership roles right now at Starbucks.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, a report of a man beating an elderly woman leads to his arrest.
On September 29th, deputies were dispatched on a domestic call. The witness described seeing a man beat up an elderly woman. When deputies arrived, they met Stephen Bant, whom they knew from a prior arrest. Bant appeared to have an unsteady gait and smelled strongly of alcohol. Bant stated that he had a nosy neighbor and that he and his wife had a verbal-only fight. When the deputy asked him why he thought the neighbor called him, Bant allegedly replied, "He's probably going to say that I choked her." The neighbor advised that he witnessed clearly from a few feet away that Bant allegedly grabbed his wife, threw her to the ground, and choked her with both hands. The victim advised that she had tried leaving him, tried getting a protection order, but he always finds her. She stated that he keeps her dependent on him, and she felt there was, quote, no way out until he kills her, end quote. The victim said he hits her regularly, about every other day, but she doesn't report him because this is just her life. The victim stated that Bant became angry with her for an unknown reason. Bant threw a heavy object at her foot, threw her to the ground, and began to choke her with both hands. The victim stated that she could not breathe at all. Deputies were able to clearly see red marks on the victim's throat, and her foot was swollen and purple. Bant was taken into custody and booked for domestic battery by strangulation and abuse of an old, vulnerable person first.
We are all navigating the challenges of COVID-19 in different ways. A recent survey shows some people have made healthy lifestyle changes since the pandemic began, while others struggle with mental health. Erica Foreman has more on how the country is coping.
COVID-19 has motivated some people to get healthy, according to a survey from Parade Magazine and Cleveland Clinic.
What's striking is that COVID has brought to attention the underlying risks of being overweight or having a chronic disease and getting very sick. So people are paying more attention to their health, and they're spending more time outdoors, they're sleeping better, they're eating better, they're exercising more.
More More than half of people surveyed adopted a healthy lifestyle change since the start of the pandemic, with over 30% eating healthier foods, and nearly 80% say quarantine made them value their relationships.
Everybody was living a life that didn't quite feel great. Too busy, running around, hectic, chaotic. And when everybody's at home, connecting to their family, being in the kitchen, having more time with loved ones, having more time of stillness, I've noticed this, that the quality of life goes up. And people are appreciating that.
But some are struggling. 55% of adults report mental health concerns.
And in the group of younger adults from 18 to 34, 3/4 experience mental health issues, stress, anxiety, depression, loneliness, isolation. And these are really the result of the complete change in our society, the lack of being able to congregate, connect with others, and the stresses of the economic burden that this has placed on so many families.
Results also show 38% of those surveyed skipped preventive health visits, and 15% avoided the hospital for things like injuries or chest pain due to coronavirus fears.
We're seeing a lot of complications and health consequences from people being afraid to go to the doctor's office, being afraid to go to the emergency room or hospital, so they're delaying care. And that's not a good thing. And I think hospitals are very rigorous about their safety protocols, precautions, and I do think that people need to pay attention to their symptoms. They need to go get help when they don't feel well. They need to focus on their preventive care.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Despite the stress of COVID-19, the survey also shows 70% of respondents have a positive outlook for the future. When we come back, we'll have the Friday edition of Save a Pet, so join us.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, do you know somebody who needs a makeover? COVID Project 19 is happening right now. KPVM-TV and Simply Divine have joined together to help a woman that you may know that really needs a makeover, and you can nominate her by emailing us here at KPVM-TV. You can go to Deanna at KPVM25.tv. Your nomination has to be received by October 31st. Just tell us why she deserves a makeover, and we are entering her in, and we'll choose that and make the big announcement. Thanks so much to Simply Divine. And if you would like to join the trunk or treat being held by KPVM-TV and Quality Signs, you can do so. You can give us a call at 775-727-9400, or you can email sales@qualitysignsnv.com. This is going to be happening on October 31st from 5 to 8 in the Betty Loop. So we're asking for people to volunteer, participate, and if you can't, of course, you can always sponsor the event.
It's Friday, which means it's time to meet another great pet available for adoption at one of our local shelters. Today, Darby O'Donnell joins us from Desert Haven Animal Society, where she introduces us to a cat named Oreo.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Oreo. Oreo is an adult male domestic shorthair. He has black fur and a little bit of white, like an Oreo. I would consider him a double stuffed Oreo because he is quite a large cat. He's very chunky, but he's super sweet. When we were doing other segments, he was actually grabbing at my mom, trying to get pets, very social with humans. But when we try to take him out of the cage, it appears that he doesn't like to be around the other cats. So if you're looking for a kitty who's super social, likes attention, really talkative and sweet, he is definitely your kitty. Come and see him or any of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society. They're on Ceres Lane behind the Nye County Courthouse. You can give them a call at 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Bye, Oreo.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler from Channel 25 KPVM, and we're on location there on Highway 160 at the Walmart, where Saturday we're going to have a little food drive to benefit a couple different charities, the VFW Food Bank and also the Pahrump Valley High School Food Pantry. It's a new program. We're trying to help them stock the shelves for hungry students. Hard to learn when you're hungry. And we owe the veterans something. So, it's a great place to come on down Saturday. Stock up your shopping cart and donate it out front here. to both those great charities. I will be telling you about the weather and everything you can expect all throughout the week when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Excited to bring you the fall weather, and it is fall-like. Look at it infernally, 72 degrees. That's all you got today, huh? 40 degrees for a low tonight. Fallon following suit, about 71, 36 for a low there tonight. Carson City all the way up to 75 degrees, and whew, boy, 34 for a low tonight. Tonopah, you're looking pretty good, 74 degrees. 37, that's half. Look at that. You're a mathematical and weather anomaly. In Goldfield, feeling good at 76 degrees, 37 for a low tonight. Out in Beatty, 87 degrees. You're starting to get into the sweat belt of southern Nevada. And 51 degrees for a low tonight. In Amargosa, all the way up to 90. Looking good, and 54 degrees. Las Vegas only got to 89 today. So what was the over and under on that? I don't know. But the low tonight is 61 degrees. And out in Death Valley, cooling off just a few degrees. Yeah, you didn't even see 100. It's 99 degrees in Death Valley for a high today. 67 will be our low tonight. And here in Pahrump, looking pretty good, about 88 degrees currently. We got 89 for a high. Winds out of the west-southwest at 7 miles per hour, carrying just a smidge of smoke. It's like a titch, only smaller. 8% humidity today. Sun rose this morning at 6:52 a.m. I was almost through my first cup of coffee already by the time the sun finally rose. And it'll set tonight at 6:05 p.m. Low tonight, 54 degrees. And the winds out of the east-northeast to 5 miles per hour with 16% humidity. So maybe some wispy clouds towards morning. I don't know. We'll see. But it's Friday. Hooray. Let's look at the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Not a lot of surprises here. Looks like we're locking in on about 90-degree temperatures. 91 for the next couple days, 90 for the couple days after that, and all the way down to like 83. I was seeing an extended forecast that said we might reach into the 70s here in Pahrump in about a week. So enjoy it while you can, folks. Lows in the mid-50s and 6-mile-an-hour winds kind of throughout the week. Shouldn't be too bad. Looking forward to the week, and I'm looking forward to the weekend even more. I hope you are too. From the KPVM Weather Studios, I'm John Kohler. Good night.
Thanks so much, John. Well, we have to say goodbye to somebody today that we really, really, really guilted out enough not to say goodbye to him, but he's leaving. Anyways, Brad Francis, our longtime editor, there he is with his cake right next to him, and he has been amazing here. A fantastic news editor, but also he's done most of the voiceovers, and he's been with us for a while, so we're definitely going to miss him. He's going off to a new job, and we're hoping that we can guilt him enough and he'll come back, or I can pay people at that job to mistreat him or something.
We're twisting his arm a lot.
Yes. It's been horrible.
We'll miss you, Brad. Thank you so much.
So much.
Yeah.
We wish you the best, definitely, in your new career, and we'll see you around town. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Have a safe weekend. Thanks for watching.
Good night.